Hello and good morning. Welcome to Sunday Morning Coffee with Caryn, episode 53 with the wonderful Megan Darger. We are here in her beautiful backyard in Ivins,
Utah.
Utah, near St. George. Guys, come out and drive around here just for an hour and you will never need to go on an ayahuasca journey because you'll just fly with dragons all over the highway. It's fine.
Pretty much. Pretty much.
So, today we are going to be talking about the art of receiving. And this is really what the Dragons Retreat that I am down here help we're co-creating that with Olivia, who's in Colorado, and she'll be here soon one day. Down in Sedona, Arizona in November. So we are just getting all of those details ready, getting the sales pages up and ready for you guys so that you can join us. It's going to be amazing. So we wanted to really emphasize what the entire retreat is going to be really teaching you to do so that you can have more affluence in your life. So without any further ado,
Which I think is perfect because in order for you to really experience an affluent life, you have to master the art of receiving and really understand how to receive. So that's where we're going into today.
yeah.
So um, I think you were also saying first getting really honest with yourself,
Yeah, so the first thing before you can actually even practice the art is realizing that you're not good at it.
yeah.
Just like when you learn any new skill or any new art form, if you've never danced before, you can't assume that you're going to walk out there and be able to pull off Patrick Swayze moves. That's just not going to happen. So you have to really be a beginner at receiving. A lot of us weren't taught how to receive, we were taught how to do it ourselves, especially in America. The do it yourself attitude is ingrained to us from birth. And so and then realizing that you're always receiving. So the first thing, we're going to give you four things. So the first thing you guys want to write down is that we're always receiving, always. Everything that you receive, anything that's happening to you in life is a reception. So when you're receiving compliments, you're receiving something. When you're receiving constructive criticism, you never hear a different, what word would you use instead? I'm getting, okay, well, getting is just another word for receiving. So realizing that there are upstrokes in life, just like in sex, there's strokes that make you go up, and just like in sex, there's ones that you recoil away from. So there's upstrokes and there's downstrokes, but you're still always receiving a stroke. And there is an art to being able to, the way that Carolyn Elliott from Existential Kink would put it, how to get off on every stroke in life.
Mm-hmm.
So that's always the reception. You have to just learn to be okay, this is what am I learning from this. So I'm jumping super fast. So we're gonna focus for a second on that idea that we're always receiving. So do you have any other?
Um, I guess with that, in life, everything's already been given. So it's really only thing that's happening is we're expanding our awareness and capacity to receive what is already there and really integrate it into this new norm. So what we tend to think is that there's something that you need to get. Like we're always trying to get that love, right? We're always trying to get that thing, the money, the abundance, whatever. And the fact is, it's already been fucking given.
Yeah,
And it's really just you opening up to receive that, expanding your awareness, expanding that capacity to actually receive that thing that is actually already right freaking here. So if everything's already being given and you're just receiving, it's just receiving in every single moment, then it's what is it, where is it that you shut off, right? What is it that's stopping you from receiving? And are you willing to receive everything? Because that's what I like, this is what I love so much about receiving, and what it all comes down to is, are you willing to receive everything that life is bringing to you, no matter what it looks like, whatever package it comes in, whatever, if it seems super fucked up, whatever, it's here, this thing has been being given to you right here, right now. Are you willing and open to receiving what is right here?
And I think that that's also like for those of you who have read The Secret, which I think all of us like read it at some point, but we never really understood what they meant. And what they meant is that our human eyes can actually only see 1% of the light spectrum. There, we can't even see 99% of what's going on in our universe with our physical eyes. So the law of attraction was really teaching you that there are all of those things that you can think of exist in the quantum field for the simple fact that you can think them, therefore they exist. I think, therefore I am. That's like if you don't have that belief installed, I think, therefore I am, therefore everything I think exists, then let's like come and talk to me because we need to give you a little bit of that back information. But when you realize that the law of attraction isn't about being able to think about it once, it's about being able to think about it and hold it as your singular vision. You eat, sleep, breathe, fuck, shit, everything to this idea of what you are working towards. And in that process of clearing the pathway to it, of attracting that thing to you, you are receiving ways of letting go, ways of letting go of judgment, and you're also receiving new gifts, new ideas, new opportunities. That if you're still trying to think the old way that you were thinking when you had the original thought, you're never going to get there. You have to change your thinking on a constant basis to receive the new insight that you're going to need to create $1 million. Because if you were the way you were thinking right now made you a millionaire, you'd be a millionaire right now. So you can think about being a millionaire all you want, but if you don't change the way that you're thinking about other things, such as receiving, such as like, oh, can I be like compassionate and curious about why I just found out that my husband's having an affair? He's not, but just random out there thought like that's a huge part of receiving too, is like, what is the universe trying to teach me when I know my end goal? So you have to know what you want to receive all of the things that are going to happen in between before you receive the thing that you actually want. You're going to be like, this isn't what I want, God. You're going to fight with the universe.
Which wanting means what?
Having. Yeah, having is evidence of wanting.
Evidence of wanting, like wanting, yeah, basically.
Yeah, if you want to have $1 million, there's going to be a whole lot of things in there that your ego is going to say that you don't want, but you have to come to terms with the fact that no, if it's presented to me, it's something that my subconscious is trying to process. I got to get my unconscious. You guys, we did this all of May. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go back on the YouTube channel to episodes like 44 and up. We were talking all about unifying your will, how to create miracles, all of those things. So make sure you do that. I'll leave the YouTube link. So let's see if there are any questions. Nope, not yet. Hi, Christina, Craig, Tommy. Hello, everyone. So we've already kind of touched on two others. So if the first one is that we're always receiving life in all forms. And this isn't like a first, second, third, fourth as in steps. These are just like qualities that you have to master. Another one is letting go of that judgment that we were just talking about. Like judging whatever is happening to you as either good or bad. This is not a game of morality, it's a game of integrity.
Yeah.
So write that one down, put it on your fucking mirror. This is not a game of morality, this is a game of integrity. Yeah. Put it up in a quote graphic, send it to me.
Well, and the thing too of letting go of judgment is like, it's letting go of the judgment, it's letting go of resistance, it's letting go of suffering, like all those things. If you are suffering, you're not receiving. If you are in pain, you are in judgment, you're in resistance, you are not receiving. You can only receive, the judgment that you have. You can't receive beyond that judgment. So until you open up and receive that, like you're completely shutting off all that's like so available to you in any given moment. And that's why also we come back to the beginning of like receiving life in all of its forms, right? So it's like life presents you with this shitty gift, right? I would even say this past weekend was one of those things for me, which talk about this last week, like expanding my next level and my capacity to receive, to come home and to find out that my babysitter had drank all my wine, had literally left my house a fucking disaster, right? Like, okay, here's this, right? This thing that would most people would be like, this is really fucking shitty. And also, you know, you should go sue her, you should go call the cops, this. Instead, I'm like, oh, okay, like I know that there's nothing here but a fucking gift. And so, like, what is it that I'm like open and willing to like see here and receive? Because I know that it's only for like my greatest everything, my greatest evolution, growth, expansion, and opening me up to like my next level of abundance. And so, like, to receive that was like, oh, yeah, when I came home, you better believe I had the full fucking range of emotions that I got to like be with and like receive. So, receiving all that came with that. And then the next level of what is here. And so, when we let go of the judgment, then we open up into a world of neutrality. We open up into curiosity and wonderment and gratitude. And that's the next thing is compassionate curiosity. So when you can come from a space of neutrality, right? This wasn't bad. This wasn't good. This didn't happen to me, right? Like they didn't do something to me. Like
Because that's victim
it's
consciousness.
victim
If you hear
consciousness.
yourself saying something happened to me, then you have switched into the mode of victim instead of
Yes.
owning the fact that you are creating your own reality
Yes.
at all times. There's never a time where all of a sudden, like, the dudes from the Matrix take back over for you, by the way. If you're like able to see us because we are invisible to lower life forms that don't understand what we're talking about, and you guys, I said that and it said 11 and 11 right there in the top. By the way, it was 11 minutes and 11 seconds when I said that.
Yeah.
So we're fucking dragons.
Yeah.
How many times have you heard me say that dragons are like toddlers? We use that because we have the full range of emotion, but then we still can go back and be like, okay, so now what?
Yeah.
Now what do I learn? Like we're always in
Yes.
a state of learning because we know that when we are reaching and we're going for our next well, we know that we're limitless, but our human body and our human psyche will create these illusions of limits. When that happens, you always get that's a test, right? How many like ascension problem, upper limit problem, test from the universe, whatever the fuck you guys want to call what happened last weekend. It's still her choice how she looks at it. And if you were to go look at the comments, people were all over the place. It was quite amusing.
It was.
Um, and you still have to be like, well, okay, these are all actually options. You're right.
Yes.
I do have a choice to do any of these things. So then you don't judge the comments from people
Yes.
either, right? You're just
Yes,
like,
yes, yes,
interesting.
yes.
That's an interesting thing. You
So
don't.
again, there's that neutrality thing, right? Which is all about the receiving. So I'm able to receive everything that's here. I'm able to receive people's feedback, right? You guys, are you able to receive criticism? Are you able to receive feedback in all its fucking forms, right? Not just like, hey, like you're really beautiful, which I can't tell you how many people can't even fucking receive that compliment.
Mm-hmm.
Like literally like breathe it in and be like, thank you. Instead they're like, oh, like how uncomfortable that is for them. Like, or like, oh no, and then they deflect it. Like,
Oh,
so
yeah,
to be able,
deflecting compliments is not receiving
right? Then
compliments.
it's
When
a
you say,
whole,
"Oh, well, are you sure?"
are you
Like,
sure?
"Oh, just this whole
This,
thing."
yeah,
No, like, no, thank you.
yeah,
I do. Thank you. I received that. Like,
yeah.
practice that. Thank
And
you. I received that.
yes, yes, that's a great, exactly. And then it's a whole nother level, right? When somebody wants to give you like criticism, right? And then to be like, oh, thank you, I received that, right?
And not
It's
just saying it, but really letting it process
like letting
through
it
you
in.
and letting you feel all the places in your body and be like, does
Yes,
that actually ring true for me?
yes,
Because they could be criticizing you for their own
right.
like ego stuff. So that's where the embodiment piece, knowing where your different emotions live in your body, expanding into okay, if I feel like I'm contracting,
Yes.
what so the last thing, last the final piece of this is the expansion. I can feel I'm contracting because I just got criticized.
Hmm.
Run it through my body. Oh, yep, that's because it rings true somewhere in my body. Sometimes people
Yes.
criticize me and I'm all like, that's an interesting reflection that you see. That's not at all
Right. Like
true
there's
in my
nothing. Like
body.
it's
Like that,
literally
like
like the energy, right?
yeah,
Like
so
it
you
just
don't
passes
get
right through. You're
triggered.
like, oh, no trigger.
You
Like
don't get
you
triggered by
don't.
that criticism, but when you notice the contraction, then you notice you're being triggered. You notice that there's that means that something rings true. You then get to then switch. Okay, well now I'm receiving this. Okay, I'm gonna let go of the judgment of what it means if someone
Hmm.
calls me, like a bossy bitch. Okay, and why does that bother me? And then you can go into the other tools that we have of like alchemy and shadow dissolution and naked mirror mantras and all the bajillion of other tools that I give you and that we're going to be teaching you at the retreat. So I want to read some of these comments and make
I
sure that
love
we're
it.
caught up. And then if you guys have any questions, let us know. Fierce compassion. Yeah, okay. Oh, hold on. Becky was. Hi, Becca. Oh,
I
yeah.
surrender.
I surrender, I receive, for the highest good of all beings across all space, time, dimension, reality. And so it is.
Yes. Yum yum yum.
Fierce compassion. Yes, dragons. Hey, Annie. Oh, they can't see me. Yeah, they can't see me. You actually look like Trinity. Trinity, like another person. That's really funny.
No, I think probably Trinity from the Matrix.
Oh,
It's true.
oh. I've guys, I've never seen The Matrix.
What? Okay.
I think one time in high school, but I was making out with a guy the whole time, so I wasn't really watching. Um, yeah, projection. You can tell when someone's projecting and when someone is like trying to give you a truth that you then need to process. And the way you can tell is that when they're projecting, it's just like when a projector is running. Do you think the screen feels the projection on it? No, it doesn't feel anything. But if the projector like burns a hole in the screen, it definitely feels it, right? How do I receive grief of a wonderful family member passing? Oh, okay, that's a good question.
Um, so it's the thing with, I want to give an example also, like, is nature when it comes to receiving. So, what is nature continuously doing all the time? It's being and it's receiving. And so, that, like, when we can actually be with what our actual experience, that is like the art of receiving too. Like, you're actually able to be with everything that's coming through this, coming through you, and you're able to just be with it without judgment. So that's ultimately being. That is also what unconditional love is to be without judgment. And when you are in a space of being in unconditional love, that's receiving at the highest form. Receiving equals love, you guys.
Yeah.
Love equals receiving. It's receiving it all. And so it's coming to yourself like in that grief and allowing you to actually hold that grief with compassion, with love, and not thinking, oh, that this needs to go away, not trying to change it. Like it's here, it's what is. Can I be with it? Can I ride the waves of it? Oh, here's the next wave, and I'm crying again. And oh my gosh, I feel like I'm being stretched, and like my heart is freaking breaking, and all of that. Awesome, beautiful. Like that is the gift that life is bringing you right now that's helping you to completely expand, to grow, to break free from all of the constraints, the judgments, the limits. And that's like, that's just is. It's what is here. And so it's just being with it and letting go of all of the stories about it, of what that means, letting go of the beliefs, the judgments, and all of that, and just to be with it as right here. Anything you want to share?
Yeah, so I think another piece with grief, just like any of the big emotions,
Emotions.
the big ones and little ones,
Right.
is to look at it in a very aesthetic way. So can you receive the grief and start describing like a texture to it? Can you
Yeah.
really allow the emotion to penetrate all of the layers of you, because if you are, then you can break open maybe other grief that you have pushed down before. And I find with my clients that go through grieving processes, it's often a chance for them to expand in their what I call super conscious resources. Other people call them psychic gifts. um, I call them resources because everyone has them. It's not like I'm special because I can speak to like spirits and dragons and inner earth beings. You can too. So can the energy in motion, the emotion of your grief is allowing you to go so far in that you can then push outwards to a next level of maybe you need to have a conversation with the person who passed. Like you can channel. I have a video up. I can, you can look for it where I talk about how I channel, which is a very easy process of writing a question and then switching the pen color and deciding that when the pen color is switched, you're now channeling, like you could be answering through the
Beautiful.
energy of the family member. So if you have a question or anything you want to do, you can just switch back and forth and have a conversation. And this is your belief system. If you believe with all of your heart that that is a full-on communication between you and your loved one, then that's what it fucking is. And no one out here can tell
Tell
you
you otherwise.
otherwise. So receive the fact that you are creating your reality. And I don't, there's always a reason why you even receive the answer that you receive when you ask that sort of question.
Yeah.
So
And you will receive.
yeah, you know. Can't my voice, okay, I'll try to be louder. I'm also going through like a massive up level. I got this crazy sigil tattooed on me yesterday, guys. The story, I will go and talk about it later, but yes, I'm not surprised if my voice is doing crazy things. Great idea about layers stuff down. Yeah, cool. Sweet. Okay, ladies. So let's just run through it one more time. You guys like know how I like to wrap things up. We're always receiving in all forms, always. So criticism, cash, like care when you're receiving support from people, like that's a really huge one. For me to have an idea of having a dragon retreat and then immediately have like an extra right brain and an extra left brain in the two people that came together to help me create it, it was a bunch of things that came up for me for like, oh my gosh, am I going to get fucked over? Are they going to actually do their part? Are we just going to be having the same catty bullshit conversation over and over and over again? Are we going to actually start doing things? Um, that was something that I had to receive and realize, okay, well, you're here to co-create. Like, you're not going to build an empire 100% by yourself. Like, you're going to need assistance. You're going to need to learn to get along with people. It's time to get out of your ivory tower and go, like, walk amongst other royal people and figure out how to get together. So even that was me recognizing I was asking for something. I'm asking to build a multi-billion-dollar empire teaching people how to receive magic in its purest and highest, most ancient form through dragons. Okay, that sounds fucking crazy. So I should
Let's do it.
probably go talk to other people that agree with me. Because then you sound less crazy when you find people who have the same beliefs. So if you guys are really hearing this, like let go of the judgment that you might have had about what another woman's retreat is going to look like, what another the women that we're calling into this, we all know that you are already successful, beautiful, amazing women who want to receive that same level of success in every single area of your life, whole life alignment to constant expansion. Like your love life gets to be bigger, your sex life gets to be bigger, your bank account gets to be bigger, your philanthropy gets to be bigger, your art gets to be
Yeah. And
bigger.
I actually would add to that because I think this is really important is the piece of the like fact of this being hard.
Yeah.
Because if it's hard, right? Again, if this is like painful, like you're suffering, like fuck, there's a reason. And that is directly correlated to your capacity to receive.
Yeah, it's easy. It's
It's so
really
easy.
easy.
It's so
All the
easy.
pushback I had was because of how easy it was to be like, already have the name, already have the location, already have the plan going on. As soon as I told a couple other people I already have gift bags filled, this, like, it's been so fucking stupid easy. Like, even my tattoo, like, I'm not gonna show it to you because it's all nasty because it literally is a day old. I had what Thursday we did a meditation with Caryn, who's she's right there next door.
Next door.
And during the meditation, this sigil like popped out of my brain. I got off of the meditation, said, oh, I think I'm getting a tattoo. Caryn knew of a tattoo place here in St. George where I was going to be this weekend, texted it to me. It was called Alpha and Omega Tattoo. And you guys know how much I love my Alpha and Omega dragons. And then the I was able to find this crazy triskelion with like it's a bass note and treble note mixed together, and then I just put dragon heads on it, and it was so easy to put together on Canva. I called the tattoo shop on my way. They had a cancellation yesterday where I wouldn't have been able to get in had there not been a cancellation. And I was able to text it to him, so he already had it pulled up and like drawn up. And I went in there, and 2 hours later, I was out. So in less than 48 hours, I had a vision of a sigil tattoo I needed to have, and then it's now already on my body. Like,
And that's like a master of receiving because that's how like it gets so easy because you've just like opened it up to receiving, like, right, the bullshit and the resistance and all the judgment, the like
Why do I need to get another tattoo? Why?
it's just all gone. So it's just like, awesome life, what do you have for me? Because I already know that it's only going to be the very best, because that's who I am. This is how I create. Like, I get to create my world, and this is how it gets to be. And so, and I know that like whatever you bring my way, it's only for my greatest like
Yeah.
growth. And so then if there is a little bump, it's like, awesome. Okay, what's here? What is it for me that I get to look at, that I get to see, that I get to integrate, that I get to love, so that I don't get to I don't need to experience this in the future. And as you like, as you master that receiving, first of all, it's so quick that when those things do come up, like this weekend, you guys, the stuff that I experienced to come to full completion, forgiveness, compassion, love, understanding, and total fucking clarity of the whole entire thing within 24 hours is freaking unheard of.
Yeah.
That's shit people will carry for a freaking lifetime.
Yeah.
Lifetimes, months, weeks, years. It's like, boom. Okay, clarity received. Oh, I see that. I take the full responsibility
For the
for
problem and
the
the resolution.
experience. Every single thing. It was not done to me. I'm not a victim here. Boom. And that's how it is. And then when we're playing in these big games and we're creating big ass projects, we're like, how easy and fun can this
Yeah.
be?
Yeah. We
And
had a
then
girls'
literally
weekend. Like I had a
life just like is
sleepover.
like, here. So when people want to tell me with my, big project, oh, but like zoning, let alone, is going to be a year. Well, no, not in my world. What
Yeah.
if it's already fucking done? Because that is the truth. It's already done. It's already been given. Can you just like open up enough to actually receive
And
what is
hold
already
that
here
frequency to
and hold it?
be in that. Like
Yeah.
when we talk about you're creating your own reality, we're experiencing the same conversation right now and we're in the same reality. When I go home,
Yeah.
we hold that so that we can connect still, but that doesn't mean that I'm always in the exact down to the megahertz frequency that she's in. You're always in your own very unique frequency. Why you have bespoke dragon invocations that are your own soul frequency, that no two are ever the fucking same at all. It's impossible. Why no two coaching containers with me are the same, because it's impossible, because no two people are the same. So when you realize that you have to just decide what it is you want, find where that feeling lives inside of you and expand it bigger than your
Yes.
body, bigger than your field, out into the whole world,
Like a freaking
then it's
dragon.
just going to happen. And you are going to find land that happens to already be zoned, and the water rights are easy as shit to go through. And for some reason, a project that was supposed to take 5 years only takes you 2.5. Like, that happens all the time, and you hear about it, but it's the people who are able to, again, wake up in the morning. Oh, this is what's going on. This is what I want. Where's the resistance? And this doesn't take meditating for an hour. It doesn't take going on like daily, weekly ayahuasca trips. It doesn't need doing any of that stuff. It gets to be so fucking easy that the only resistance that you tend to have is, why is this so easy? Like, I thought this was supposed to be difficult. Like, after the tattoo, I had a crazy existential like experience driving in the desert and all this stuff. And I get home to Megan's, where she had been doing this amazing ceremony that I was doing my own thing during. And I was like, I am extremely aware of the fact that my dragon is now eating all of the density in your house. I am kind of tripping out right now, and was totally sober,
And
but
thanks for
was
doing
that
that before I
connected.
walked back in.
Yeah, I
She's
was
like,
just like,
okay.
I'm just gonna clean all this energy up because things are fucking weird right now. And just again, non-judgment, being like, oh, well, am I really surprised? I just got some crazy dragon sigil put on me in less than 48 hours. Of course my psychic gifts and super conscious resources are expanding. And I don't have to have judgment of, other people would think I'm crazy. Like, if you start doing that again, if you start worrying about what your dad is going to say if he sees your Facebook lives, hi dad. If you start worrying about, what the cashier is gonna think if you walk in and you're not wearing your face mask, like that shit is again victim. What are they going to do to me? What are they gonna do to me? No, nothing's going to be done to you. If anything happens, it's because you need a lesson. You're receiving a lesson from your higher self. You're either receiving a lesson in how to expand into having more resources, or you're learning a lesson in learning how to receive like clarity, like the dissolution phase. Like you can dissolve everything down, but you still have to purify the lead out. Lead into gold is not an exact 1-to-1 ratio of change. There's a putrefaction process, a fermentation process. Alchemy can sound so simple when you're like solvate a coagula. It's actually like a 7-step intense process that takes tenacity, relentlessness, focus, but it can be fun while you do those, and that's the paradox. That's the paradox that is the trick. You want to know what the trick to having a great life is? Realizing that you're deciding if it's good or not.
Pretty simple, huh?
Right? Super simple. Like you're either having a great time while your kid is having a tantrum or you're not.
Yeah.
And then if you're not, then you have, oh, what is that? Unlimited resources to teach you how to have a good time. And maybe that means you have to make shifts in your own life, but you know that, oh, wait, I'm here to be a game changer. I'm here to be a generational leader. Of course, I'm going to not be able to parent the way that I was parented.
Yeah.
That world doesn't even exist anymore. And even the world that I'm right now parenting in isn't going to exist by the time my grandchildren are around. So, how do I want my grandchildren to be parented so I can start instilling that into my kids? You have to receive a whole lot of realization that the way you're doing things is not copacetic at all. And that's fine because you're not judging. You're compassionately curious. Is there a new way? What is the third way? That's what we're
dragon's
gonna.
way.
The dragon's way is the third way, guys.
Yes.
So we have an awesome PDF that we're gonna type up here literally as soon as we're done. So it's not up yet. If you're interested in some journaling prompts and some other little tidbits, I might even record a meditation while I get home and throw it in there too. Make sure that you drop a dragon. Yeah, a dragon emoji or a dragon GIF in the comments, and I'll make sure to DM you the link for the PDF that we're going to put together on. It's going to be called the same thing, The Art of Receiving. And if you're interested in what we're going to be doing during the, or if you're interested in coming, which you are, so for those of you who are coming to the Dragons Retreat in Sedona, make sure that you DM me so I can get you the invoice immediately. There's literally, we can push it to 12. Like we literally cannot hold more than 12 women at this retreat because of the space that we're at. So if you are in it to win it and ready to show up till you blow up and all the other corny ass hashtags that I can think of in a whole different way, in a way that's easy and blissful and playful, and you really are like, this is my job, this is what I get to do all day, and people hand me thousands and thousands of dollars. I just had a dance party for 35 minutes and we're gonna like, and you okay, really? If you're ready to do that, then please make sure that you send me a message, DM me, and I will send you over like the invoice immediately. We're still getting all the sales page and graphics and all that from our designer, but I know that there's a lot of you guys on this call that are just like, nope, I'm there. I don't fucking care how much. Here's my credit card. I'll see you in Sedona. So for those of you who are ready for that, make sure you send me a private message so we can get you there.
Yes. Over the 11/11
Oh yeah,
portal.
it's gonna be in Sedona over just no, November 10th through 14th.
Yeah.
So get the time off of work, get all the shit together that you need, get your ass to Sedona. All you have to do is get to Sedona. As soon as you're there, you're 100% taken care of. Your food is taken care of, your excursions, your trip to the vortexes, your all of it. The goddess goodie bags, and oh my god.
And if there's anything that like comes up and like you feel your heart is like, yes, I get to be there, and then the resistance comes up, I invite you to actually use the art of receiving, of like,
Yeah.
how can I expand my capacity to receive that I
So
could
that I can
like
be there.
create this.
Yeah, so I
To
can
be there.
actually be there
Because there's just
I've
these little
seen
things that are like in the way that if you were
Yep.
just able to actually see and perceive that, everything would change. So
Yep.
take the PDF because we're going to ask you, it's like 5, 6 different questions of helping you to actually understand what's in your way and what all those things that are holding you back to receiving everything. Abundance. Massive freaking abundance
And
in every form.
power,
Affluence life.
and prestige, and all the things that we need to have, not the world that we have right now, guys. Come on, we're all bored with the way things are right now. Let's create something. Okay, we love you. Thanks so much for joining us. Have a beautiful Sunday.